Hey everybody, welcome to Life in Calgary, Alberta. I'm Patrick Murray, and today I have something a little bit different for you as I interview an industry expert about what the current market means for home buyers. But before we do that, if this is your first time to this channel and you would like to know everything there is about what it's like to eat, sleep, breathe, live, and play in Calgary, Alberta, then please just hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you get notified every single time I release a new video. Now, I've lived in several major centers in my adult life, but I settled in Calgary way back in 2001. And not only that, I've been a residential realtor here since 2010. And all of this means I have some specialized knowledge about the city of Calgary and the surrounding bedroom communities. So if you are considering a move here or to one of the bedroom communities, or you're considering selling your home and you would like some assistance, please feel free to reach out to me, send me a text, email, or a phone call. I will absolutely get back to you. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's get on with this interview and let you know about what this market means for home buyers right after this. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I'm very excited to introduce you to an industry expert here in the Calgary real estate market. This individual has worked in real estate for over 15 years now in residential real estate, selling everything from detached homes, semi-detached homes, townhomes, condominiums, assisting both buyers and sellers, including within the luxury real estate market. And this person has also worked in land sales and also vacation properties in Canmore, Alberta as well. So without further ado, we're going to jump into this interview, and I guarantee you're going to learn a few things today about the current real estate market for buyers. Well, thank you again for joining me today, and I will let you introduce yourself. I'm sure people are going to recognize you. But before we move on, I will ask you another question as well. So while you're introducing yourself, you can jump in and answer this question. And that is, how did the real estate market shift this past month? Well, Patrick, thank you very much for that warm introduction. I'm Patrick Murray, and as you said, I think some of your viewers are probably going to recognize me here. Now, in answer to your question, year over year, we've seen a 76% increase in the inventory in the real estate market. And that's year over year. And we're now above 4,100 units. Now, I have to say that most of that supply, while up over year, is in the lower ends of the market, or the sub $500,000 area of the market. And that has to do with a lot of townhomes and condominiums. Now, that's welcome news on many levels. One, because now there's more inventory and more choice for buyers. Number two, has to do with the fact that because it's in the lower end of the market, this is the sector of the market where we want people to be serviced. We want people that are having difficulty affording homes to be able to get into the marketplace. So it's welcome news on that front as well. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, too, the difference in the market. Even though the market has had a lot more supply put into it this year compared to last year, we did have extremely tight market conditions last year, which made it very, very difficult for home buyers. In fact, we had record tight market conditions last year, in the last few years. So this is a real welcoming for home buyers. There's a lot more choice out there, but especially for people getting into the market, there's a lot more choice. And I think that's good news all around. Just what does this mean for home buyers? Well, again, it's like I said, there's a lot more choice on the market right now, and there's a lot less competition, and that means there's a huge opportunity for home buyers right now. Now, I should point out that the sales to new listings ratio is still at 61%, which means we're definitely not fire selling homes by any means. There's still a lot of strong demand out there for homes. So we're actually at very healthy market conditions at this time, both for buyers and sellers. where both parties aren't making any rash decisions. And that's key in a healthy market. And that's what we're seeing right now. And again, this is very positive news for home buyers. Well, thank you for that. And so, what exactly is happening with home prices? Well, overall, the market is holding steady. The benchmark price for the city of Calgary is up over 1% from last year. So prices are quite stable. And in fact, we have seen price increases in all sectors of the market. But I understand what you're getting at here. And I know you're trying to bait me about the pink elephant in the room. And you know what? I'm going to take that bait here, Patrick, because I know you're wondering about how tariffs are affecting the markets and what that might mean for the future. So I'm going to jump in here and give you my breakdown of it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's two ways to look at any situation. You can look at it as a glass half full or a glass half empty. And I'm certainly a glass half full individual. I prefer to look at things from a positive perspective. Now, that being said, let me give you a few facts. And that fact has to do with the fact that we still have a housing shortage here in the city of Calgary. We need more homes for people to live in. And in fact, there's still the thought that we're going to see prices continue to increase over the next few years because there is that demand for people to get into homes. So we're still seeing that. We're still expecting strong interprovincial migration, even in the face of tariffs, from Ontario and British Columbia into Alberta. And why is that? Well, one, because as a larger center, our prices are very affordable in comparison to some of these other markets. And at the same time, our tax rate here is lower. So these are what's drawing people interprovincially. Now, while we're probably going to see a great reduction in migration from other countries, we've got enough people here that we need to house right now. So yes, tariffs, are they going to affect things? Well, potentially, but the thought process and what I've seen recently is data saying that, and in speaking with mortgage professionals, their data is telling them, so they're telling me, that we're expecting another rate decrease in the Bank of Canada rate in the short term here, potentially two more before the end of the year. So, I know the Bank of Canada is restricted in what they can do with that lever, but that's the thought process right now. Now, like I said, for every glass half full, there's a glass half empty approach. And the other thing I saw was that rates could increase by 1 to 1.25%, that means the Bank of Canada is going to raise that rate. So we have to be prudent, right? It doesn't mean going in blindly and not having your house in order, your proverbial house, so to speak. But it does mean that you need to be aware of what's out there. But when you're looking at it from a glass half full perspective, I truly believe that you're going to see a lot more opportunity in the market as opposed to looking at from a negative standpoint all around. So again, that doesn't mean ignoring the negative. That means making prudent decisions. And I think our market is there right now because we are in that balanced territory, meaning, again, sellers and buyers aren't making those rash decisions. So I think our market is quite stable for the future. And yes, there is great opportunity in the market right now for people to purchase homes. Patrick, let me ask you this. Are we still seeing multiple offer situations? Well, that depends on the product type. I mean, certainly we're still seeing some tight market conditions in the Northwest and the Southwest communities. So we are still seeing some competing offer situations in those situations. And of course, anywhere in the city, if a home is priced well and it looks exciting, there's going to be a lot of people interested in that property. So it doesn't matter where it is in the city, it's still going to has a good potential to garner some competing offers. But I would say that we have less of that situation in the Northeast, in the city center districts. And of course, it also depends on the product type as well. If you're looking at apartment condominiums or townhomes, of course, we're seeing a lot more inventory. So because of that, we're seeing not so many competing offer situations in those product types. And one final question, what's your advice for buyers right now? Well, here's my advice for buyers moving forward. I got three different things. And number one is get pre-approved. Get pre-approved for a mortgage so that you're ready to pounce. So while the market conditions are such that we're seeing less competing offers, you want to be ready to buy, ready to pounce when the opportunity presents itself. So being pre-approved means less waiting. It means that sellers are going to take you more seriously, and it means that you're absolutely 100% ready to buy right now. Number two is be strategic. I mean, some areas of the city are more competitive than others, as I've already intonated towards with the previous question. So, if that's of concern to you, that's something that we can talk about. I can certainly assist you in knowing what areas are more competitive and what areas are a little less aggressive if you're not looking to compete in price when purchasing a home. And number three, I would say, is think long term. If you're planning on staying in Calgary for a long time, I think it's a great time to buy. I mean, prices are stabilizing. We're not expecting any great fluctuations here. Yes, there's some economic uncertainty throughout the world right now, but again, we still have an undersupply of homes, which also aids to the fact that prices are going to remain stable here. So that's my prediction. Of course, nobody has that crystal ball, but if you're buying for the long term, real estate's always a really good play. As I said earlier, if you are considering a move to the city of Calgary or one of the bedroom communities, or you're considering selling your home, please feel free to reach out to me, send me a text, email, or a phone call. I will absolutely get back to you so you can live your life in Calgary, Alberta.